began these posts for Adullamscavemusic at the beginning of the pandemic, and over the time I've really been surprised to have got 27 subscribers, something I never expected. And I just want to thank everybody who has subscribed, and those who are viewing it from day to day or perhaps over the week. And it encourages me that God is using it to be a blessing and benefit to at least some of his children. The purpose, or one of the purposes behind the post, has been to follow Tozer's example in what he calls the pursuit of God, by valuing hymns and psalms in our own personal pursuit of God. And recently I've been focusing on the work of the Holy Spirit at Pentecost, and saying his first work is to illuminate human minds and to reveal Christ. And this was what was happening supremely on the day of Pentecost, and is the same throughout all ages, and is the same today. We need every day the illumination of the Holy Spirit on our minds to keep revealing Christ to us. Of course, this is because our minds have been darkened through sin, and only the Holy Spirit can reveal God to us. Apart from God's Spirit, the truth about God is completely inaccessible to human minds, no matter how well educated they might be or how many Bibles they may have. And I suppose the Jewish nation's a good example of that. They have the book, and yet, as Paul says, a veil lies over their minds that they cannot see, and only in Christ, through the illumination of the Spirit, is the veil taken away. And so I believe that to be filled with the Spirit, as Paul says, something that began on the day of Pentecost, and in Ephesians he tells us that we're to go on being filled with the Spirit, always involves greater and ongoing illumination by the Holy Spirit. So, for instance, at Pentecost, Peter, preaching to the people, was preaching under the illumination of the Spirit himself, as he revealed Christ in Joel, Christ in the Psalms, and in his preaching, which was the Word of God, Christ was revealed to the crowds as exalted in heaven before the eyes of faith. So Peter's eyes had themselves been opened to Christ and his glorified position at the right hand of the Father. And they were opened through his understanding of the book, because God has placed the truth about himself in one book. And of course, that's the Bible. It's the only place where we find or will find God. And it's the only place, the only writing that the Holy Spirit actually illuminates, because he himself is the author of that book. And that's why we call it God's Word. However, as John Calvin said, our mind, and this is a quote, our mind has such a dullness that it is always blind to God's truth. Without the illumination of the Holy Spirit, the Word can do nothing. And so when it comes to worship and communion with God, fellowship with God, we cannot possibly do it. Even if we have the Bible in front of us, we can't do it unless the Holy Spirit is illuminating the words and the pages to us. And of course, worship is about the Holy Spirit revealing him to us, that we can have that direct personal communion with him. And I believe this is something that's really crucial for worship, whether it's private worship or corporate worship. If we're to worship, as Jesus said, in spirit and in truth, we always need that illumination of the Spirit at that point in time, to revealing Christ to us. So today's hymn is one about the Word of God and the Spirit's illumination of the Word. It's one by William Cowper, and it's a hymn that I found in this hymn book, that was one that I've used frequently over the years, or a few decades now, Christian hymns. but a lot of hymn books, traditional hymn books, will have a section on the Holy Scriptures. And some of these hymns are really worth taking out, meditating on, and praying over. And of course, William Cowper, as you probably know, he wrote God Moves in a Mysterious Way and suffered from bouts of very, very severe depression. And I've known what depression's like in my own life. Suffered from it for quite a number of years, and it would still be a vulnerable area in my own life. And with depression can come times of tremendous emotional and mental darkness. And this is why I love this hymn, because William Cowper was able to write how the Spirit shines upon the Word, and in his light the Word comes alive. And I'd have to say it's been true in my own experience, even in the darkest depression. Turning to the Word of God under the illumination of the Spirit has brought not necessarily relief emotionally or from the pressure of depression, but has brought light, and that light has been life to me many times. The Spirit breathes upon the Word and brings the truth to sight. Commands and promises of God reflect the heavenly light. God's glory shines on every page, majestic like the sun. It gives his light to every age, it gives but borrows none. God's hand that gave it still supplies his gracious heat and light. His truths upon the nations rise, they rise but never set. Let everlasting thanks be ours for such a bright display. Into this world of darkness pours the light of heaven's day.